manly for men to talk with somebody about what's going on in their lives and what's going on in their bodies, right? As we dealt with, space to be a man, I shared with you that's what a man is and what a man does. I think I even shared with you Timothy's little story, right? Timothy being we refer to each other as our buddies, right? He's my buddy, I'm his buddy, and we're best buds, right? Best buddies. But Timothy, I've known Timothy since he was um, a few months old, right? He was only a few months old when I first met him, and I've been in his life ever since, right? And Timothy knows who his father is. He talks with his father, but still in all, he admires the or loves the relationship that he and I have and have always had from day one. So, um, Timothy's mindset or idea is, and I've shared this with you all before, but I want to make sure I just touch on it real quickly. Timothy's mindset or idea is that he wants all Timothy wants to do is be a man, right? Be a man, and I've asked Timothy. I said, well, what is it to be a man? What does that mean when you say all I want to do is be a man? What does that mean? What does that look like? What does that entail for you? And he says, I just want to take care of my family. I want to take care of my mom. I want to, that for Timothy to be a man means that he handles responsibility, right? And I want to talk about this because as we look at space to be a man and do man things, right? The Bible tells us that when I was a child, I acted as a child, I spoke as a child, I thought like a child, meaning also I reasoned like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. All right. And I was listening to yeah, I think it was Dr. Miles Monroe, or maybe that was someone else who I was listening to. But either way, I was listening to someone and they were talking about how as a man, right, we should not be spending all of our days and all of our time on oh no, I remember who it was. It was Mike Todd. It was Mike Todd, Pastor Mike Todd of Transformation Church in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He was talking about how, as men, one of the things that we need to work on, one of the things that we need to improve upon is the amount of time that we spend with our families, the amount of time that we spend with our wives. And as I talk about space to be a man and do manly things, I want to encourage you that what is indeed manly is to spend time with your loved ones. It is indeed manly to take some time off, and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to spend today with my wife and or the kids. I'm going to, that we have to get out of this thing that a man is only worth how much he can bring into a household. A man is definitely worth more than that. A man brings to the table a whole lot more than just what it is that he provides financially, right? He brings to the table a whole lot more than just the protection that he provides by being in the house, right? A man, right, is when we have to get back to it, and I've been hearing as I listen to the Al Sharpton show and other places, all of this talk about the the black woman and how we have to protect our black men, our black women, and we have to do this. And I absolutely agree. As a matter of fact, I want to send a big shout out, a big shout out. I don't know if y'all listened to Keeping It Real with Reverend Al Sharpton earlier this week, but one of our locals here, Miss J, I think was her name, called in to Reverend Al Sharpton's show, and I want you to know I heard you, and I'm standing and agreeing and on everything you said. Where is it at? But going back to this, there's been this talk of again protecting our women, and I agree that we ought to, right? And a lot of that has been directed around, I think, Kevin Samuel's passing and all that, and of course all of his remarks that he used to make about women. But I want to turn to the flip side of that, and that we all have to make sure, right, that as one another, as men, that we are supporting and taking care of and uplifting our black men, and also that our women, right, our women are supporting, lifting up, encouraging these black men. You know, the thing about it is, let me just say this, you know, the thing about it is that we all go through so much. We all deal with so much and have all of these different issues and problems, and I get it. You know, everybody is going through something, but I believe that we could be further along, one as a people, if we could continue to support one another. But going back to our men, um, with all the pressure, and y'all know I've covered, we're now in month 5 of Man to Man, and I talked about how a man's world is full of pressure and all the things that a man deals with. And then, you know, let's look at the other side of that, everything that men of color have to deal with just being men of color. The is looking over your shoulder when you pass by a police officer, or something of that nature. You know, just the overall just worry or concern that goes in a black man, right? There's so much in that, that I think that one of the things that we need to do is make sure that we take time to love one another. And let me just say, it is indeed manly. Going back to our original theme, it is indeed manly for us to love one another, to love our families, and to allow them to shower down love on us as we get ready next month to enter into Father's Day, right? And we celebrate Father's Day next month. But as we get ready to go into that, I want to make sure that we understand that there is nothing weak, there is nothing um, off-putting, or there should be nothing off-putting about a man allowing folks to shower love upon him. And so many times, I'm like, man, y'all ain't got to make no fuss over me. Y'all ain't got to do all of that. Look, just y'all just go and be happy. Y'all go and no, 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 brothers. Listen, we've got to learn how to allow people. That's what's manly. You know, you say, oh well, you know, that's not what I was raised to believe. That's not what I was taught. Well, for generations and generations, I believe that we have been taught the wrong things, which is why I took time to deal with it is manly to show emotions, right? That's why I took time to talk about how it's manly for us to talk about our health. And now I'm telling you that it's manly for us to allow folks to share, to show love, for us to express love, and for us to spend time with our families and our loved ones. For so long, especially in the African American community, the black man has been taken away, has been stripped away, has been pulled away from their families, right? Even going back from being brought into slavery, being sold throughout slavery, all right, and then after slavery, being put into prisons and into the fields and all of that. We've been pulled away and taken away from our family, and the ideal now has been forced upon us that if we're not working, that if we now, bring in a certain amount of money, that we have no worth or no value to our family. But I need you to know that what is indeed manly is, yes, work. I'm not encouraging you to just quit your job and spend all day with your family, but you've got to learn how to balance it. It's, you know what? I'm going to deal with that one even on next week. It's manly for us to have balance. Balance. We've got to get to this place to where we recognize and that we realize, hey, yeah, it's good to work. But work cannot be the end all be all of who you are. Work does not completely sum up who you are. What good does it do? What good does it do for you to do all this working, for you to make all of this money, and then your children grow up and they don't even know who you really are? You get ready to pass away, or you do pass away, and at your funeral, they ask your children to say some words about you, and all your children can get up there and say is, Daddy sure did work, didn't he? Think about that. Think about that. That's all your children got to say. Man, Dad sure was a hard worker. Man, he loved his job. What's also, let me just say this. What's also more sad, or what would be more sad, is for you to spend all this time working, right? And then your funeral comes around and your coworkers have more to say about you than your children, than your wife, because your coworkers saw more of you. They knew more about you, and you talked to them more than you talked to or spent time with your family. You see what I'm saying there? That we've got to get to this thing. We've got to get out of this thing where my worth is only tied up in what I do and how much money I bring in. No, brothers, your worth is tied up and is wrapped up in the legacy that you leave in this earth. And I promise you, I know it to be true because I've seen it happen time and time again. You mess around and leave that job today, one way or the other, leave that job today and see if they don't fill your position next week, next month, or the next day. I mean, you know what I mean? But you mess around and leave your children's lives, leave your wife's life, right? And see how long that void is in their life. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, brothers, your legacy, your life, your wealth, it's tied up in your family. So it is manly. It is manly that or for us to spend time with our family. It's manly for us to spend time with the ones that we love. And it is manly for us to show them love and for us to allow them to pour out their love on us. All right? Ain't nothing wrong, brothers, with them giving you your flowers while you can yet smell them. And you may say, well, I don't want no flowers. Uh, Give me a cold one. Listen, we even got to, I think, back up off some of that because you drink too many of them and you can't even enjoy the time with your family. I mean, it's okay to have a couple or one or two, right, here and there, but don't get so drink so much where you can't even enjoy your family and then they don't enjoy you. You know what I mean? So we've got to find a balance in there. We're going to talk about that again on next week. It's manly to have balance in our lives, and that goes in so many areas, so many ways. All right? All right, all right, all right, brothers. That has been our man to man segment. All right. And y'all know we do man to man every week. It is indeed my goal. It is indeed uh, my plan and my purpose for every month of this year for us to deal with a different topic every month, and then every week to deal with a different subtopic within that overall topic. And so far, we're doing it. So far, we've kept it going, and I just want to encourage you all to stick with me. All right, we've still got plenty more topics to talk about. We still got plenty more to get to and to do in our man-to-man segments. All right, and let me just say this. Let me just say this. For those of you who've been asking and then trying to encourage me to do a men's conference, well, we may not be doing a full-on men's conference. I don't know. It's not fully, we're not done putting it together, but I do want to let you know that coming up soon, um, you will be able to attend a man-to-man event with myself and Pastor Randy Mingo over at the Solomon's Temple Ministries Church. And let me just encourage you right now. I say right now, but today and tomorrow over there at Solomon's Temple Ministries, Pastor Clyde Lewis. I'm sorry, not Pastor Clyde Lewis. Goodness gracious. Pastor Randy Mingo is having Pastor Claude Kimball. That's what I was trying to say. But Clyde, y'all just got to bear with me. Sometimes all this stuff gets twisted up in there. So Pastor Randy Mingo is having Apostle Claude Kimball of Beaumont, Texas, come in, and they are in revival tonight, and tomorrow night over there at Solomon's Temple Ministries, 2101 6th Street. Why don't you stop by tonight? I think it's at 7 p.m. nightly. All right, 7 p.m. nightly. So why don't you head on over there and enjoy that revival? And yeah, yeah, y'all have heard Pastor or Apostle Claude Kimball before. He's been here on the station. Plus, he was just recently over at the revival at that the Holiness Church. Holiness Church. I can't remember it. Right now. But I want to encourage you all to make sure that you do go out to that revival tonight at 7 p.m. over at the Solomon's Temple Ministries. Again, that's 2101 6th Street. 2101 6th Street. All right. And they're in revival on tonight. All right. Matter of fact, speaking of revival, let's go ahead and get back into the music. Then when we come back, I'll have our all the news you absolutely can use segment. But here is Leek Spence and Jules Judah featuring um, Tasha Page Lockhart, and it's simply entitled Revival right here on I Am Encouraged Radio.